T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It just cuts off and goes completely quiet. But Fremont here. I've got an awesome group of guests today. We are handicapping the Del Mar card on this beautiful Saturday. We have Bloody Marys, some of us, which we said was optional. Everybody's got their own mix of some sort. And we're just going to kind of go through the card and pick which horses we like, which ones we hate, but we're going to keep it quick. But guys, comment, let us know you're here, let us know where you're from. And we're doing this for the Stable Duel $10,000 dash $150 entry, and you could win a guaranteed prize of $10,000 that is split amongst the top, depending on how many play, let's just say top 10 or something like that. So let's talk about guests. Billy, what's up? Where are you right now?
Hello, Bree. Hello, Gino and Matthew and the Sniper. Always good to see you guys. I am in Del Mar, California. I will be attending the Del Mar, the real Del Mar, not the Del Mar 10K dash that you can play on Stable Duel.
And you've got three horses in, right?
We have two horses in today. Two horses.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the 3rd and the 7th. I'm sure we're going to get to those. Mm-hmm. It looks like an interesting
I think you're in the 4th.
Am I in the 4th and the 7th? Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gino.
No problem.
It should be a fun day. I'm looking forward to hearing these experts, all their opinions. And I don't know where to put my head because, Bree, you're kind of like cut off on the top. Sniper's really close. Then Gino's really far away. So what is it like? Do you put it like here? Like where do you go back? Yeah. What's the proper...
What's the proper
place?
You just do you.
It's like Hollywood Squares, It's just kind of however your body melds into that. That's
so. Am I like
I can make it really annoying and put you right there.
Oh, that's too big. Wow.
Yeah.
Giant. No.
Big screen.
No, we don't want to do that.
Billy. There we go.
We don't want to do that.
All right, Gino, where are you at right now?
I'm at home in Long Beach, getting ready for a nice Saturday. We'll be playing the races all day long. Got some college football, big sports weekend. Hell, great time in sports right now. You got football, college, you got basketball. College basketball just started up, NBA, NHL. We got great racing coming on every week, and I'm getting more excited. A couple more weeks at Del Mar, and then I love when they go back to Santa Anita. That first week, especially that day after Christmas, that's always one of my favorite days of the year. So always starting to look forward to that, and we're going to build up some money because we got to get money to pay for the big feast coming up next week. We got to be able to pay for all that food on Thanksgiving.
Smart.
That's right.
Good, Gino.
Build the banks this weekend, and then we've got Barry down here, and you're a Florida man, right?
Yes, I'm coming from you to you from the world famous Daytona Beach, Florida.
Wow. What is your hat? Because we only see the back.
Houston, but it has my name on it. It has my name on it.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, good. Yeah.
Class. Barry's bringing the class to this.
That's why he's got it backwards, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, this is actually a Chuck Simon hat, so I had to give him a little shout out. So
are you?
I'll wear it backwards.
Do you like run happy as well?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends how many times you see the name on a daily basis in racing, right?
Exactly.
All right, Matthew, where are you coming from right now?
I'm coming from blustery Northern Virginia, and it's a wonderful 38 degrees outside right now. So I'm more dressed for the mindset that I would like to have out in Southern California with Billy and Gino. So just coming, but excited for the weekend. Great race at Del Mar. Got a lot of races across the country, and just excited for a big Saturday.
Perfect.
Why is your Twitter handle Failed to Menace? Is that
because that is my favorite daily racing form note. It always made me laugh that a horse would fail to menace. I always thought of a horse trying to act tough and failing to menace. And all the
that's
daily
most
racing...
of our horses, so that's what I was going to say. I've seen that a lot.
And it's also funny because daily racing form always has very technical notes. It's very short, it's very concise. And then for failed to menace, they just came up with this poetic phrase to use in the race. It made no sense, and so it just always made me laugh. Yeah.
All right.
Well, perfect. Thanks for joining. We've got 9 races on the card today, which makes it pretty interesting in the StableDuel app. Why? Because you have to select 10. So no matter what, you're going to have to double up in one race. I know a lot of people just like one per race, but you're going to have to double up at least one. Some people like the strategy of doubling up here and there. But in this card, I mean, we've got pretty decent field. So it's not like you're up against a 6-horse field over and over again where you're going to use that strategy. So let's just dive in. So let's go race 1, guys. We've got, let's see here. We've got maiden special weight, 70,000, 5 furlongs on the turf. Gino, let's start with you. Do you have a massive conviction in this one?
Yeah, I like the 4 encroachment in here a little bit. Encroachment has run 3 times now. In the debut, was going 6 furlongs on the dirt. Showed a little bit of speed that day, but faded. Then did improve on the grass last time out. I was going 6 furlongs at Santa Anita. This 5 furlong turf course, I think, will fit him a little bit better. So now he's got a little more experience. He battled going really, really fast on the lead. He was going sub 22, got the lead, but he couldn't cross over. Then he had to deal with pressure up the inside. And it didn't seem like he took the best of steps when they went over the dirt, Santa Anita too. So I think we'll probably like this turf course a little bit better. Now you get the cutback. He'll be forwardly placed. I think you sort of know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get good speed in this race on the cutback. So even if he may not be a horse that wins, I like knowing that he's going to be involved in the race throughout. And in StableDuel, where, you know, you want to just be able to pick up points in each and every race, this to me feels like a horse where I sort of know what I'm going to get, a good, speedy type effort.
And $7,000, not too bad if you know what you're going to get on that one. So I actually have that one in my 3rd spot. So Billy, do we have a big conviction in this one?
I'm a pretty strong conviction here. Gino, I like your pick of encroachment. He is very, very fast. He always works fast. What I don't like is that he always also stops.
Yep.
If you watch Del Mar racing, and 5 furlongs on the grass, you want to be in front. And it happened yesterday. A horse went wire to wire in the first race yesterday. I think the best horse in this race and the most logical winner, unfortunately, is the favorite, Cali Bay for Phil D'Amato. Umberto Rispoli, obviously, is a very good turf rider. This horse, I'm a thoroughgraph guy. This horse ran a 10 last time, comes back with B-Works. And most importantly, Phil gelded this horse. And for all of you geldings out there, including myself, I mean, raise your hand if you're gelding. I am. You guys aren't. Oh, you guys are probably too young. But it really helps you focus. If you guys ever saw Seinfeld, the George Costanza episode where...
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Ultimate
equipment change.
The ultimate equipment change. I think it's really important. I think Phil D'Amato is going to have a big day today. He's dominated the turf at Del Mar, especially recently. He's gotten very hot, and I think Cali Bay is the most logical winner here.
I actually thought I was a gelding, Billy. Thus, I have a 2-year-old son now. So.
Oh, yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Billy. I'm on the 1 here, and I've got Dance Company, the 9 underneath there. So Barry, what about you? Are we agreeing, or are we off of those?
I am off of those. I'm actually on the horse that you said you have underneath is the 9 Dance Company. I like the switch out, coming out west from Keeneland with Wesley Ward, going to Doug O'Neill. I appreciate the outside post here because there's a lot of speed to the inside. I think this horse can sit close, but, doesn't really need to be out in front. And, piggybacking on what Billy was saying about encroachment, the horse just likes to stop for whatever reason. And I think Dance Company was going to sit the perfect trip here. And I like the last couple works. All systems go.
All right, Matthew, you?
Yeah, I'm kind of a Venn diagram of you guys. I mean, I like encroachment a little bit. I like Dance Company a little bit. I mean, they're both $7,000 horses. So, it's kind of take your pick on which one you like a little bit more. I'm with Barry. I'm a little bit more on Dance Company. I think there's just something there. I also like the Wesley Ward to Doug O'Neill change. But the other horse that I'll just mention that I have underneath that has not been mentioned at this point is Square Cat. The second horse, that's a horse that also should benefit from a cutback in distance. Kind of faded a little bit down the stretch. Will not be getting a front running ride, which is a concern. But underneath, if you're playing other types of cards, it's a horse to consider.
Okay, so that one is $5,000. So
yeah,
That's not a bad one to get in your mix. But let's go to race 2, shall we? So race 2 is a claiming $16,000, 1 mile on the dirt. This one actually was a little tough for me. I think there's a ton in here. I tried to get some insider information from a couple people, but I just can't seem to get any convictions even from trainers, which, you know what those kind of notes are. But guys, does anybody have like a super strong one here, or is this just a crapshoot for everything?
I kind of like the 5. Builder.
Okay.
Crapshoot. Gino, you don't like the 5.
Yeah, let's talk a little builder. And what's nice about builder is that 6-1, that'll be right on the line about what you need as your average per race in Stable Duel, about 5,000 per race. So
right.
look at builder's last time he was on the dirt. He actually was beating non-2 optional 62s up at Pleasanton. If you look at the form since then and you compare it to the rest of this field, he's probably coming out of the best races, maybe other than everybody else besides Family Biz in here. And you're going to get a little bit better of a price. In fact, in his last race, there were 2 next out winners. The winner of that race, Respect the Hustle, came back to beat 30 claimers next time out. The 6th place finisher won for 20 next time out. He had a good start. He went right to the lead, but then 2 others went to the lead also. So he kind of backed out of it. He got floated a little bit wide. He was really trying hard all the way. I think the return to the dirt will help him. And some of those, like those starter allowance races and those races up in Golden Gate, they can be a little sneaky tough. I think the return to the dirt will wake him up a little bit. And I don't love anybody else, so I didn't want to take a shortish price. I was looking for at least a medium kind of price. Because in a race like this where you don't love someone, I at least strongly like builder at 5-1 or over.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, we'll see. I think we'll see how this one does, at least in mine. Race 3 was a single if I'm building a pick 5. So let's go to race 3. So it's a 5 furlong on the turf, optional claiming $80,000. If I had to single, I'd be singling the 5. What are you guys on in this one?
You have to call someone out, otherwise we're just all going to talk over each other.
Just stare at me. Just okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
mean,
too.
you're the host.
I'll just talk every time, so you definitely have to call somebody out because I'll be the first one.
Here's what I'll say.
Ahead,
I like obviously the 5 is also, I agree, out of all the races today, probably the one I feel most comfortable singling. Mm-hmm. If when you're building your stable, $11,000 is a little too pricey for you and you're looking for something, I do think Trickle In, which only costs $6,000 at 5-1, provides a little bit more, should be near the lead. I have some concerns about fading down the stretch, but at 5 furlongs, it shouldn't be that significant. So if you're looking for a little bit of a cheaper option in this race, Trickle In something that I'm looking at.
All right,
I agree with Matthew. I agree with Matthew. Zero Tolerance is the best horse in this race, bar none. She will be probably 3-5 on Stable Duel. I don't know what that means, but maybe it's 13,000 or 18,000 or some type of thousand.
Billy, I'm going to teach you something here. So
9,400, right?
The closest thing to fixed odds that is available in the U.S. because we stay with morning line. So whatever the morning line is, that's what you're paying.
Well, then I would head in that direction. This is, as Matthew said, and I agree with him about Trickle In. We talked about 5 furlong races on the grass at Del Mar. You need to be up close. Trickle In will likely be in front in here. And as I looked and dug a little deeper, I think this filly is going to have a clear lead. Kyle Frey got his 1,000th win yesterday. He's riding very well right now. He's aggressive, and if you're looking to beat Zero Tolerance, that's probably the one. I think Storm and Lady, the 2, also has a chance for Jeff Mullins, who's claiming a lot of horses right now. He won first off the claim. This filly's super consistent. She's 26 starts, 5 wins, 7 seconds. And do you get money for place and show in Stable Duel?
Yeah, so you get points for positions 1 through 5, but your variance is the lengths beaten by. So if you win,
I think this is for the price, a safe play would be Storm and Lady. I think she's going to run well. I don't know if she can beat Zero Tolerance, but she will be picking up the pieces late. That's my thoughts.
Well, I had, let me check my notes. I had 5-2 cold. That's it. That's what I have written down. 5-2 cold. Nothing else. Those are the only 2.
Can you bet exactas, Bree, and stuff like that, or is it just?
So the closest in this game, because there's only 9 races, you always have to have 10 horses in your stable. So you will have to double up somewhere. And you want to double up on horses that you think are going to get first and second. So if you've got that strong a conviction for the winner and second, short fields are usually the strategy that people use, because obviously you're more likely to hit first and second with 6 horses rather than trying for a 13 horse field. But
sniffing out bad morning lines is always a good thing to do. You know, if you know a horse is 10-1 and they're going to be bet down, well, that's great, because it's only going to cost you $1,000, but they're going to go off like a 5-1 shot when it would have cost you, you know, how much more to spend up for them. There's actually one horse that wasn't mentioned here that I think is a little interesting. The 3 Southern Mama. Keep an eye on the jockey, Alex Ashard there. He's actually a really, really good jock. He won Barry remembers our buddy Darren Zocali, when we were doing a live stream, let us know about him. He won the grade 1 over at on In Love at Keeneland, and then that horse actually ran in the Breeders' Cup. It's interesting to me that he's out here riding this filly. She's got really good turf sprint form when you dig into it. So she was last time out, she was 40-1 at Keeneland. She moved up the inside, and she was close up throughout. She was traveling really well. She was sitting behind. She got a seam, and she opened up, and she just got nailed. It was like she slightly missed, like a little bit of mistiming, and maybe just moved at the wrong moment, but it was a really good effort. It's kind of strange that she ends up coming out here. Maybe they're just looking for the 5, because it really felt like they found the 6.5 at Kentucky too far. So this might be a filly that just really wants that 5 furlongs. And if you just key in off those turf sprints, if Zero Tolerance and Trickle In, maybe they go a little too quick early on. If that's why Zero Tolerance loses, maybe it's Southern Mama that benefits most. Another one that would only cost you about $5,000.
Yeah, I thought that horse, actually the morning line was off. That horse should be higher. You know, I think this level is a little bit over this horse's scope, but I would take that horse, you know, if it was 12-1. If she was 12-1, I would definitely think about using her. But at 6-1, it's tough in a race like this where there's not many horses. I mean, she definitely has the right to kind of be in the mix. So it's not totally like off, but I just wish the morning line was closer to what the 6s is.
Yeah, and I think John Ennis is sneaky. He's one that I texted this morning and asked, and he's like, it's a tough field, but he came out with this horse solely for this horse, this race to Del Mar. So, you know, if you're doing that travel, you think that there's something there. So,
and don't forget, you get the ship and win too.
The bonus, yep.
Which is a very large bonus. I believe it's 50%. Oh, it was 50% in the summer. It might be 30% now. So running for like $100,000.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to race 4. So race 4 is another maiden race, 5.5 furlongs on the dirt. So I had a couple in this one, but Gino, let's start with you. Who's your biggest strong pick here?
I promise you I'm not doing it because Billy's here, but I actually do like Soto Cap. I promise you. I think if you just toss the grass races and you focus in on the dirt race on September 24th at Los Al. So he got squeezed back out of a spot in between horses. And then he was looming up at the top of the lane. He tried to go in between a little bit, and he had to just slightly kind of take up. And that, you know, not every horse can just be push button and start, stop, and re-rally and that kind of thing. I just don't think it was the easiest type trip for him. And I think in this race where there might be a little bit more speed, if we can get We Are Not Bad People and Miz and Power to both push head for business a little bit. I think Soto Cap with the blinkers on and some fast works, Billy. It looks like you want to get a little bit more speed out of him too, get him a little bit more forwardly placed. I'd like to see him sitting 3rd or 4th and be in a perfect spot here.
I don't know if he'll be sitting 3rd or 4th because he put the blinkers on, comes off a really fast work down here at Del Mar. This horse is, just so you know, he's always worked good in the mornings. I'm just a little insight. He's been a bit of a morning glory. And that's why the drop makes sense. It's a much lighter field than he's been facing. As you said, gets off the grass. He's by Street Boss, so we always thought he had turf pedigree, and we tried it twice and it just didn't work. He was really ranked last time. Yep. I think this race goes through head for business. I think because he's on the inside, they're going to have to send. I think he makes an easy lead in here. I watched the video last time of the We Are Not Bad People versus Head for Business when they faced each other back in September at Del Mar. I thought Head for Business was much better that day, and I think the 5.5 furlongs makes him super tough. I think we'll be close. Obviously, I hope we win. I can't say too much on claiming races, but blinkers on, apprentice, 7 pounds, going back to dirt, dropping in class. There's a lot of positives as far as betting Soto Capo.
Yeah, I have the 2 and then the 6 to follow up there. Matthew, where do you sit with this one?
Oh,
You're muted.
You're muted, bud.
Sorry.
There you go. You're good.
Yeah,
best stuff yet, Matthew. I gotta say.
Yeah, it's but no, I'm with you guys on the 2 and the 6. And what I'll say is head for business. I just for $9,400 on StableDuel, that horse likes to finish second a lot, and if for $9,400, I want 60 plus points. I don't want 30 or 40. So that's kind of my concern there, and that's why I would rather go with Soto Capo. That's not that much cheaper, but $8,000 is you're getting a little bit better of a value there. So I like the 6 for StableDuel, but those are my top 2.
Yeah, and the 6 is costing you $8,000. It's a 7-horse field, so again, you're not up against 13 horses here, where you can get a crap load of negative points in your stable. So that's not a bad strategy to have. So let's move on to the next race. So the next race is race 5, maiden special weight 70,000. It is down the chute on the turf, a mile and a 16th. So first of all, if we're looking at the chute at Del Mar, what are your initial opinions or advice for people maybe checking these races for the first time? And when they see that, like, is there a post that you stay away from? Is there a post that you drive to? Like, Billy, what do you think with the chute with Del Mar and handicapping angles with that? Anything?
Anytime you're coming out of the chute at Del Mar, you're going to be wide. If you're on the outside, you're going to lose ground. The most important thing in turf races is to try to save ground, get that pocket trip, and not lose too much ground. So horses, but if you have speed and you can get over and cross and clear, you're going to be fine. The problem in this race is I don't think anybody, maybe Sai Khan, can cross and clear. But other than that, there's not any real speed. So there will be horses losing ground. This race, to me at least, goes through Phil D'Amato. Prince Obama is going to be, in my opinion, a heavy favorite. I don't think you're going to get 5-2. So in StableDuel world, that might be a good pick, because I think he's going to end up at even money in here. Ran really, really well, comes back with B worked, gets blinkers on today, gets Rispoli. It's all systems go for this horse. I will tell you secretly, now I don't know how many people are listening to this, but I did have dinner with Phil the other night, and he really likes Flint Stroll, who is the one.
That's who I like.
There you go. Giovanni Franco. Giovanni Franco has done very well for Phil. He's done very well for us. This horse was really gaining last time at 6 furlongs, gets a much further distance today. Second off the long layoff. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but usually second off the layoff is a very positive step. Comes back with some good works. Now, in I think this horse is going to be bet as well. I don't think you're going to get 8-1. You're going to probably get 3-1, 4-1, something like that. Yep. So in StableDuel world, it seems like this is a very nice play.
Absolutely agree. You mentioned the trip last time out. It was 6 furlongs, and it was a perfect prep. Fine start, taken back to last of 9, about 10 lengths off. He started to move. No joke, he was 8 wide when he had to go. He just tried to keep to wide, like in the clear. He lost a ton of ground, but he really got going late. That was his first start since July of 2020. We're talking 14 plus months off. Now you stretch back out to the mile. You're going to make your second start at the age of 3, second start at Del Mar. So I think there are a lot of things to like. Look who he lost to 2 starts back.
Rombauer.
He was sent to the bench.
Preakness winner.
So you know that he's able, even if from like a numbers and figures standpoint, they're not quite as high as the other D'Amato. From a class standpoint, you actually know he can compete with that level. Billy hit it right on the head too. I think he's going to get bet down. So that's great in StableDuel. If he's 7-2 and you're paying for him at only $3,000 off of his 8-1 morning line, that's going to get you set up really well for the rest of your day. Win or lose, to me, he's almost a must use in StableDuel today because of the way I think he's going to get bet and the value I think you have by playing him.
Yeah, the one that actually I thought, because this race has like 0 pace in it, was the 7 Sai Khan. I think that horse is going to get bet a little bit too, down from 8-1, but should inherit the lead just by accident here. Nobody really wants it. Hail Freedom may kind of want it, but I don't think that horse really wants the lead. I think Sai Khan is going to get it, and it's just a matter of how far that horse wants to go today. You would think a horse out of Kingman would want to go further, so it may be worth the gamble to play that horse. I know back first race off the bench in August, lost to a horse who's pretty good sprinting on the turf, New Park. who was an overseas kind of horse that shipped in here and won, came back, ran okay, and I think ran a bang-up second over the summer. But I think Sycon might be a pretty decent look here. I also like the one a lot too.
All right, well, let's move on to race 6. We've got 6.5 furlongs on the dirt. Surprise, another maiden special weight, $70,000. I got 3 horses that I liked here. I think I got to go with I Got a Gal first, just the last start and the works they're out. I think this horse is just, the light bulb is on and it's ready to compete. Billy, I feel like you're giving me a face after I said that. So
No, not at all.
opinion?
Actually, I know for a fact that X-Line Racing and Peter were really, really high on this horse. In fact, if you look at that filly's first start, she was 3-1. We actually won that race with Benedict Canyon. Lady T was second. Both of them came back in stakes, lost to Ida. So it was a productive race. She was well bet, and I know they were disappointed. I think I Got a Girl is an interesting use at 5-1. I think, I don't know if you guys have watched maiden races at Del Mar for the past 5 years, but there's one particular guy that kind of wins all of them. His name is Bob Baffert, and this filly is going to be bet extremely hard today. She will not be 9-5. She's probably going to be more like 3-5. Almost went wire to wire in her debut at Santa Anita. Should like the 6.5 being by Uncle Mo out of a Giant Gizmo mare. I think Adair Manor is the most likely winner in here but if you are looking for a price there, I don't know how many of you guys look at workout reports. The filly on the outside and the 9-hole named Empire Gal for
Mike that's McCarthy. That's the one.
Got a great meet. Victor Espinoza and Mike McCarthy hooked up and won the Breeders' Cup with CC. She's had huge work. She's 12-1 on the morning line. You're not going to get that if you're betting regularly. Should I call it regularly? I don't know what to call it. Non-stable dual betting. But that filly at that price is probably a nice play. If she can, if anybody can beat Baffert, she might be able to do it.
Yep. I would just say, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. How are we all on the same page? We should be gambling together.
I know, right?
What I would say is, to Gino's point about, the pricing of Stable Duel, one of the problems with Del Mar is that you do have small fields and you don't get super small prices because of that. You don't get a lot of 12, 15, 20-1 horses that are actually viable. This is one of those 12-1 that's only going to cost you $750. That is viable. And for a $750 horse, this horse I think is going to hit the board. And for that price, that's all you're kind of looking for a lot of times.
Right.
So I just absolutely love the value here. And it allows you to save money and spend a lot of money on some of the bigger favorites that we've talked about already.
Yeah, there's no way I could take a short price in this field. The one actually caught my eye too. I know it's a little taboo to play young horses like this from the rail, but she already has a start, getting the blinkers on, nice fast work on November 4th. I think that this horse is better suited for the main track rather than the turf. So I would expect a decent turnaround. And also another long shot that kind of caught my eye too is the 7 side by side. I think, I like the Jimmy Creed horses. They tend to be pretty fast. I think and I also like the work tab, the longer works in this field, because 6.5 is kind of tricky. Yep. First time out, and having a little bit of bottom helps. So those longer 6 furlong works kind of keyed me into that one. 12-1, it may be worth a shot for the what is it, 750 or 500? 500, right?
So
how much is Twitter? Bree, is Twitter going to explode where it says, like, how could you have Billy on who has no idea what Stable Duel cash means? Or am I just here?
No, the point is, because that's why with people that haven't played before would ask the same sort of questions and they'd be interested. That's what we're trying to get some people that haven't played before into this big game. So I think it's the opposite. I think you're enticing some of those new players and bringing them in. So there's one horse that you guys didn't mention that I will, the 2 Little Laura, who actually comes in from Keeneland. And because it's 6.5, I actually give her a little bit of a look in here. She was a bit slow. She was back to about 10 lengths off in her debut. She was in the 2-path. The top 7 were all within about 3 lengths. And she started to angle to the outside at the top of the lane. And she was another one who was so wide. She was about 7 lengths wide. She got bumped a little bit with a rival. She was a little green in the stretch. She just ended up missing 3rd. But because that was just her debut, I don't know if she has to be that far back. Like, we don't know if she's necessarily a slow animal. In fact, they've come back and it seems like they've tried to get a little more speed to her with a recent work in the mornings. I would not be shocked to see her show a little bit more speed, not speed, but just be able to not be dead last 10 lengths out of it. If Adair Manor loses, I think it'll be because she got pushed by I Got a Gal or maybe one of these other first-time starters that broke fast and they were going 2 or 3 across the track, and the 6.5 got a little bit too much for them. So as Barry was mentioning with Foundation, I'll take the horse who has a race of Foundation. Billy mentioned the ship and win money that you can come in here. Serin has done very, very well early on in the meet. I think Little Laura at 7,000 gives me I don't have to spend as much as I would with the Dare Manor, and I like the opportunity of her to at least close and pick up a nice piece in this race.
How much video does Gino watch?
Good, a lot. Good amount.
Gino hasn't slept in like 4
you
years.
He looks like he hasn't slept. Are you okay?
True.
You just sit and watch video?
Can't stop, won't stop
That's
all day.
amazing.
Don't have to get ready if you stay ready, Billy K.
If you got no, I understand. And if you guys have been following Del Mar, and I don't know how many of the people watching this have, but JJ Hernandez has won 3 races in 3 consecutive days. Obviously, Pratt hasn't been around this weekend, but JJ Hernandez is riding really, really well. Don't be afraid to use him. That's my
if people
warning.
care, there's actually 2. Who were we talking about earlier? So Empire Gal and Little Lara. If people care about jockey trainer combinations, I mean, with JJ Hernandez, you're looking at a 28% overall between 2020 and 21. And at Del Mar, you're looking at 38% here with these two. So obviously the trainer has only had 9 starts, but I don't know. I think that that's something to think about, especially in these maiden races. And I had Little Era. I literally have written down can close big with an underline underneath it. So I agree. I think that horse is definitely something not to discount.
Do you do just so if one underline is good? What if you have like double underline? Do you go to like a different
circle,
color
square,
pen?
square, heart,
Yeah.
heart? That's a
Yeah.
clear winner.
Yeah.
Like
I go to the red pen.
Shot, though, isn't it? I
Red
think that's a
pen.
beauty shot.
Red pen.
okay, red pen. All right, good to know.
All right, let's go to race 7. It's an allowance 50,000, a mile and a 16th on the turf. So we're kind of getting a little bit away from these maidens and getting a break and a little breath of fresh air here. I had a few horses in the mix, and I know Billy's got one racing. So why don't we start with you, Billy? What do you think on your 5 horse here, Ronimo?
You know, it's an interesting spot. This is a starter allowance non-3 life. They write these. He's eligible for this condition, and he's a dirt horse. Let's make no bones about it. Most of his best races have been on the dirt. The problem is we struggled to get this race to go. So when you're looking at ownership, like why is this horse in here? We needed to run. There is a race next week. We didn't think the race would go. So instead of just waiting, we decided to run here. If you look at his one Santa Anita turf start, it wasn't that bad. He actually lost to another horse of ours, Rip City, who's a really, really nice horse. His game is all gameness. He did run, I believe he ran on the synthetic, and he's hit the board twice. So he's got a shot in here. We picked up Rispoli. We talked about how hot Phil is right now. At 8-1 morning line for stable duel purposes, I think he's actually a good play in here. I think he's going to run well if he handles the turf. That's your question mark. To me, the race, I think Barry brought it up earlier with Sycon. This is a very paceless race. I think Big Coop down on the inside. I wrote a big lone F with a circle around it, only one circle and a little check mark. But if you look, this horse is improving. Did win here at Del Mar in the summer. Jessica Pfeiffer likes to be in front. That's kind of her specialty. Obviously, you go from Pratt to Pfeiffer, so you're gonna. If Pratt was on this horse, I think this horse would be 2-1. But because Jessica's on the horse, it's 7-2, and I think that's the danger up front. Well, I know you guys are going to talk about a bunch of horses in there because truthfully, this is a wide open race.
Gino's ready. I can see
No,
it.
Gino's. Wait, no, he went to the tape.
He's right. There isn't that much beat, and honestly, I'm a little bummed because I love the 6 East Rand who scratched. East Rand had a couple sneaky trouble trips back to back.
That's good. Why don't we just waste time talking about a horse that's not in the race?
Exactly. I was going to say it was going to be 12-1. Now I'm bummed. Give me the 11 Midnight Joe Star. I'm concerned because of what Billy said. There's not very much speed in this race. So if you do like Big Coop, like if you're playing pick 4s and pick 5s and stuff, I'd absolutely make sure to include Big Coop and maybe someone that you think could sit right behind Big Coop, which maybe that is Ronimo, who ends up getting like a better trip because there's not that much speed in here. Or maybe it's Foothill, someone who can kind of sit in between some of the deeper closers. But Midnight Joester was chasing lone speed again last time out. So I think if he gets a trip, the post doesn't concern me with his running style because he's just going to drop way back and make one late run anyway. So I think he'll at least be able to come and pick up some pieces. If they go slow early, though, he might be up against it. So I don't love him, but in Stable Duel at only 5,000 and with a scratch in here, he'll probably be in like the 5-1 range.
Matthew,
Yeah, I
what
like
you got?
it. Oh, go ahead.
There you go.
I was
Oh,
gonna
there
say
you go.
I like the 3 liar. Had some tough trips the last 3 in particular. At Santa Anita 6 was way on the outside in the 11 hole. Didn't run that badly, just was kind of in the wrong spot, and that was with the blinkers on for the first time. So I expect that horse to have more pace this time. If you go back to the summer when they were at Del Mar, the race on July 24th was pretty damn good, and the horse was down on the inside and ran a pretty good race. Got put up via DQ to second, but I just think this is the right level for this horse. I don't think the 8-1 price is going to hold. I think this horse is going to get bet a little bit, so you may be getting a bargain.
Yeah, Barry, I'm glad you said it because we could have both said the exact same thing. I was in on liar. I thought the price was right. I thought if this, to everybody else's point, there's not a lot of speed up front in this. And I think this is a horse that could take advantage of this and be more forwardly placed than it has been the last few trips. When it does get up in that more 3-4 slot, usually good things happen. So I just like the post position, liked where it was. And for Stable Duel, $3,000 is a good play.
I think based on everybody's comments in this race, especially for a Stable Duel contest, you better get a price because I think we've talked about so many horses. We didn't even mention Secret Club. He's only the fastest horse on sheets, gets blinkers on for Pete Miller, who is taking a break soon. And or Best Chance has really, this race is wide open. This is like a pick 4 all race, and hopefully you get a big price.
I actually like the 9 here. Did anyone talk about Best Chance?
I just mentioned it in my little extra spiel right at the end.
I have him underneath, but yeah, I do like him.
I like the 9. All right. I did not get to race 8 and 9. So you folks are gonna have to lead this one. But this is the grade 3. This is the Native Diver. Is that what we're calling this? Grade 3, $100,000 purse.
Do you know who Native Diver is, Bree?
I don't.
Come on,
I
please.
don't.
You don't?
Oh, no.
You know what? We got to do a history lesson.
Man.
So this is what I think is like super important. So my first horse race that I ever watched was in 2009, and I really became, I guess,
Dang.
I never saw a thoroughbred horse race before that. I did see.
Wait, you're from Kentucky, right?
No, I'm from New York.
Oh,
2009.
Yep, 2009, first one. Wow. So I mean, to me, I like that's my whole goal: getting new people into the sport.
No, I like that. I like that you're not afraid to say it, and we're not going to make fun of you. So let's just talk about.
Well, you are, but I mean,
I'm not. I didn't make funny. It's
called the sneak diss. That's a sneak diss right there.
I know who Native Dancer is. I don't know who Native Diver is.
Go look up Native Diver when you're done with this. You're going to be very impressed.
Awesome.
I will.
Horses aren't like that anymore. They don't run that many times, that often. Yeah.
I love the old pictures of like, Man of War next to, I mean, granted, humans were smaller back then too, right? But like the horses back then look like they're freaking dinosaurs. Or
depends on who you talk
to.
Some people were short.
All right. So let's go. So we're going to the Native Diver. Yep, grade 3. What do we got, Gino?
Azul Coast last time out was in the Awesome again. That was the race where Medina Spirit was in there. And there wasn't that much speed on paper in that race. In fact, Azul Coast looked like the only real horse that could push Medina Spirit, and then Tripoli was the other one. Azul Coast, I think, was a little more worried about Tripoli in that race, and if Tripoli was going to be able to get up and put pressure on Medina Spirit. And I think it was some race riding. We see it all the time. With Pratt jumping back aboard today, I just feel like you're going to get a much better ride with this horse and just a horse that fits a lot better in this spot. He was a little overmatched there. He probably wasn't ever going to be able to win a race like that anyways. He wasn't going to get in front of Medina Spirit, but I think you're just going to get a much, much better trip for him because when he shows up with his best, it is pretty close to the best of anyone in this race. I actually think he's probably a little bit better than 8 Rings and has a little bit more upside going a mile and an eighth. So that's where I would kind of give him the advantage over 8 Rings, who's next door, who comes right back off of that good effort in the dirt mile, but proven at a mile and an eighth. Give me Azul Coast here, 7,000 4-1.
Midcourt's a standout.
Just
saying.
I mean, Barry. I mean, how can you say? I mean, Gino, how can you say Azul Coast is the best horse in this race when Midcourt's in here? If the real Midcourt shows up, this race is over.
Yeah.
I agree with Barry.
And I'm just not sure if we're gonna see him. He's been such a Jekyll and Hyde
I
horse.
agree.
He did the same thing last year, though. If you look at it, you know, he kind of ran a clunker off the bench at Santa Anita in June, just didn't run at all, and then came back and ran a bang-up race in the San Diego. If that happens again, this race is over before it starts.
Yeah. I'm just a little worried when they get a little older like this. When he gets to 6 and then you throw in the clunkers, now I'm worried that Mike might be catching up with him a little bit. If he's 4-1, though, it does feel like a race where nobody should be an overwhelming favorite. It does feel like 3 or 4 of these horses should all kind of be vying for favoritism, and I think he's absolutely one of them.
Yeah, I would. It's interesting. I'm kind of out on 8 Rings. I just the 2-week layoff after the Breeders' Cup and then going a distance he's never gone before. I don't know. Bob Baffert probably knows more about horses than I do. So I mean,
he does, Matthew. Actually.
Yeah, he probably does. Safe bet. But I just don't like that combination. So the horse I was looking at was Kiss Today Goodbye, $6,000. That's a horse that has gotten smoked by really good competition lately. If you look at who's been getting beat by, it's Maxfield, Tripoli, Nixco, been going up against really good horses. In some ways, this is class relief compared to the last 3, coming off a little bit of a layoff. To Gino's point, there's not an overwhelming favorite in this race. So this is one where I don't have huge convictions, but just because there's only 9 races, I'm going to have to play one of them. And so I was going for a little bit less of a price.
Yeah, I just felt that Midcourt, even on the thoroughgraph sheets and everything, was just playing it faster than everybody else.
Any one of his older races, if he gets back to like an A- game, then he'll win it. Then he'll be good enough to win this race. I was
thinking a B plus. I was thinking a B plus. If he runs a B plus race,
I feel like Gino's backtracking.
No, I don't. This is why it's fun to have these conversations.
Barry just intimidated you a little bit.
No, it's fun to have these conversations because
I feel like Barry was about to turn the Houston hat around and just be
a
double.
He knows what Dodger emotions that would bring out of me.
He was about to be like,
yeah, that wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be
fun. Wide
open
Dodger
and me would
get a prize.
Get going.
I just want Gino to sing. I just wanted to sing.
Is this the side bet race? Is this where we do the side bets between Gino and Barry?
Okay.
Yes.
No, we got to get you in there, Bree. We owe you.
I know. I was going to say, you are the one that
I usually win these side bets.
Yeah. We're always drinking and doing push-ups and stuff, and you're just sitting there laughing.
It's horrible.
I haven't seen Bree drink any of her Bloody Mary. That still must be remnants of Breeders' Cup weekend that she really is. How long did it take you to recover from that?
It was just from Breeders' Cup itself. I had a dry 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days. Yeah.
So
I'm still recovering. All right. Good work, everybody. 9th race.
9th race. This is going back to a maiden 20,000, 5.5 on the dirt. How many horses we got in here? So this is a 10-horse race. So are we? I don't know. Are we gonna sit this one out, or are we picking one in here? Billy,
definitely picking one.
What do you mean sit it out? What does that mean? Who's
not an option?
So
if there's a race, we have to bet.
Well, in StableDuel though, you can select a horse or a race that you just think maybe it's not worth swinging at and put, double up in another race instead if you've got, convictions with the first.
Let me say, I never think that's a great idea because if you just think of it logically, if I win every race and you can only win 9 races, you're never going to be able to beat me. That's why I like to. So like in a situation like this, I like to spread out like 10 races. You want one in every race. In the 9 races, you're going to have to double up in 1. But if you doubled up in 2 or 3, then you're just not going to have the opportunity for max points like I will. And I know some races that you're going to want to play a little chalkier or you'll have a strong opinion. But if you're just thinking about it in like a fantasy DFS, how can I get the max amount of points possible? I think you always want to give yourself an opportunity in every race if you can.
I don't know. I'm not totally sold on that because if you're really confident in what you're doing, and not saying that you aren't, I can count on one hand how many times I've run the table or hit like 7 out of 10 winners.
Yep.
And usually in these kind of contests, in Stable Duel, you kind of have to accumulate points. And I find that, just by looking at leaderboards and playing myself, you see a lot of people that kind of go for it in one race and try to pick the trifecta.
Yeah.
And that strategy works. I mean, of course, it's better when you do that in a smaller field, but sometimes, it's tough because of the amount you're paying for horses. So they could actually kind of force you to pick, just skip a whole race because, the favorite is, let's say 10, 11,000. Sometimes I like to skip over those races or shoot for a long shot and just kind of, minimize my risk and double up somewhere else.
How much money do you have?
Hold on. So I was just going to say this to Billy. So something to note, because this is new for Billy. So you can get negative points. So if your horse gets beat by 20 lengths and finishes in 7th, you're getting negative 20 in your stable. So even if you had a winner the race before, which is going to get you 60 plus for winning, and the next race, your horse flunks and finishes 20 lengths behind, you're losing 20 points out of your stable. So that's where some of the thought
I don't think you could be worried about that, though. I don't think you could. You have to have confidence in your picks. But here's my question: how much do you have? Like, how much?
You've got
money do you have?
50,000 in your bankroll to select 10 horses. So your average per horse would be 5. But again, if you're picking an $11,000 horse,
and you could pick any 10 horses. I could, if I wanted to, I could pick 10 horses in one race if I wanted to, and just sit out all the other races.
Yes, you're not going to win that way.
How much does it cost to play in the tournament? Because now I want to play.
We have different games every single day. So you're $10,000.
But I want to play in the Del Mar. Wait, I'm
$150.
$150, and I can pay for 10 grand. That's guaranteed.
So 10 grand is guaranteed for the full prize, and it can rise. It's a pari-mutuel. So if there's more entries with $150, it will rise. And the only thing, so it's funny, I've gotten some feedback from handicappers, and they'll say, well, it's not, let's say the winning, hang on, I should know this off the top of my head. But let's say that the winner gets $4,000 or something from the $10,000 pool. Somebody had said to me, if I'm playing a $150 ticket, I want to win more than $4 grand. I understand. That's the mentality of a pick 5. You could win 25K. The reality is you have a better chance of winning in Stable Duel because you're only up against however many stables you're playing. Sure. You're not up against however many horses in a field, and you're never out just because of one race. You're always
I feel very comfortable about going up against Gino.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Shots fired.
I like this.
I'm just kidding, Gino. Yeah. I've known Gino since he was a little kid. I remember his first day at Hollywood Park, and he had the spiky hair. Remember that?
I was interviewing this guy. Does it make you feel old? 10 years ago. Yeah, I was putting the mic in your face.
That was before Bree knew about horse racing.
And I was going to say. That was
it's true.
All right, the 9th race, though, I'm going to go back to something Barry said, because Barry looks at sheets, I think, and Dixie Stents, Dixie's 2 stents. Is going to be very tough to beat in here. Doug O'Neill, he's been hot of late. Regular rider Mario Gutierrez for Paul Redham. This horse is much faster than anything in this race. He's and he's going to be very tough. If you're looking for a horse to beat him, I would say the 6 Finestra, another Vladimir Serin horse who showed good speed off a long layoff, and he was 3-5 that day in a maiden 20, which is the same race here at Del Mar. Should be able to carry that speed a little more this time around. And in these late in the day maiden 20s, you often see horses get clear and don't stop. So that's, someone just said, think Kent is going to pay the rent. There you go. Who's that? Alton Buzzell.
Alton Buzzell. So he's Husky Buzzell in the stable.
Husky.
So
Billy, we're going to end together on the same page. Well, Finestra, I like actually. You talked about Dixie's 2 cents. If you're looking to go against Dixie's 2 cents, I thought Fenestra 5-1 morning line will cost you 6,000 in Stable Duel. You mentioned fast start. That was on the drop. Crossed over, got a little bit of pressure, and then faded, but should have more bottom. It's a big cutback now. You're just going to get a good account of Fenestra in this race. In that
You're
debut,
going to get a thrill.
ran into a night.
You're going to get a thrill. You're going to be in front.
I'm all about Masawa.
Yeah,
All about
Masawa?
the 4 here. Yep.
Nice.
Oh, drop it in class for Glatt.
Exactly. And this horse doesn't need the lead. That's really where the appeal is. I just think this horse is going to sit right off the speed and pounce. It just seems set up. I actually honestly think this is the best horse I like all day.
Nice.
Whoa.
Nice.
I'm
Bet
texting
of the
Glatt
day
right
for
now.
Barry.
We
All
stay
right,
on.
Matthew, what do you got?
Yeah. So I'll mention a horse that's not been talked about yet, Mad Catter, which is going off at 4-1. Also has pretty good speed. Should be in a decent position. $7,000 on Stable Duel. That said, I probably, if I'm choosing between Mad Catter and Fenestra's $1,000 cheaper. So I'm probably, if I'm looking to save a little bit of money on building my stable, I'm probably going to lean towards Fenestra just because I have them kind of 1-2. And I don't have overwhelming convictions which way it's going to go necessarily. So
they might be the key to the race. If one of the two can sneak away, if they press each other, it should set up really nicely for maybe Barry's Masawa or Dixie's 2 cents who's coming. But if one of those two can sneak away, that's how they have an opportunity to win this race.
Yeah,
no sneaking away.
Hashtag overwhelming conviction would be good for Matthew.
Yeah.
Or at the little at symbol. What are we calling that these days?
Yeah.
Failed to menace. Good job, guys. What do we do now,
right,
Bree?
guys.
I'm exhausted. I'm going to have another cup of coffee.
I'm going to have another Bloody Mary.
I'm going to take a nap till the first race.
I know. So what's first post is what, 3:45? Is that right? 3:30?
No, 12:30 Pacific.
Yeah.
Right. So 3:30 Eastern time is your
What
first
is
post.
12
That is
Who starts at 45? We're in California. We go on the app.
it was well, maybe it was Golden Gate. There was one that it was 3:45.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, this is where I commute you, Billy. Hold on one second. There you go. Now you're quiet. You can't. No one can hear you. Thank you guys so much for joining and breaking down the card a little bit. Good luck today for everybody that is playing in the Del Mar $10,000 dash. If you are not wanting to spend $150 for your first Stable Duel game, no worries. We got your back. $5 with a $1,000 guarantee is also, it's called the Shore to Shore Finale. It's a $5 entry. We don't.
That's where all the sharks are.
Yes,
that's where all the sharks are.
Barry won the feeder. And you got, every single one of you has won a Stable Duel game, like one, correct?
I have not.
Yes.
Well, today's your day. Today's your day, Billy. I feel
Today
like
could be my day. I hope
Break your maiden.
I hope everybody wins. Let's go. Let's do
and isn't there's a free game at Golden Gate too, right? Today. So for like someone like
that starts at 12:45.
Yeah. So for some of the people out there that like Billy can work on some strategy in that free game also.
No, we expect Billy. We expect Billy in this $10,000 dash.
Hell yeah!
You guys are awesome. I may just do it. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Good luck today.
Good luck. Thank you, Bree.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.